Hello everybody, it's Kirby from the Asheville View. What we're going to talk about is basically a lot of like phrases and things that drove me crazy once people found out I was adopted. So today we're going to say things that you don't say to people once you find out they're adopted. So the first one, and this one is major, like the biggest one I always hear, is someone will be like, or I'll say like, I'm adopted, and someone will go, I'm sorry. And I'm like, sorry? Sorry for like what? Like, sorry I have a family? Just don't say that to anybody who's adopted, because it's a big slap into the face of the people who do not get adopted and do not have families or support or have to go through the foster program. So just, adoption's not a bad thing. So cut it with the, I'm sorry. Don't do that. Second of all, adoption stories. If they're not good, then they can be triggering to people. And then it also can be triggering to people who don't know their adoption story, or lived with their original families and something traumatic happened. So you just don't want to go there. Like, we'll come to you with our stories if we want to open up to you. Do not ask about, do you know your biological parents? We'll talk about that if I come to you with my story, because, and I'm not talking about my specific story, but like, you know, some people's parents, you know, abused them sexually and got them taken away, or died of drugs or things like this, and you don't want to trigger people like that and pull them back into that dark place, because you just don't do that. The next is people will be like asking, you're like, when, why, where were you adopted? And part of this is like, people will be like, where are you adopted from? And I'll be like, Tampa, and they'll be like, no, but like, where are you adopted from? Tampa. Like, people like to make the assumption that a lot of adoptions are from outside of the country, which is true, there are a lot of them, but like, don't jump to that conclusion. This is like one of my favorite ones. And it's just like, a lot of times, like, some people assume because they see me with like one of my parents that I'm like half white and half whatever people think I am. And then like, once they see me with both of my parents, they get like this face. But like, I always hear this comment that goes like, oh, that makes sense. What makes sense? What about my adoption by you knowing me makes sense? And I think that one also might be like a stereotypical like racially charged thing where people have assumptions about whatever race they think I am, and I don't act like that, even though that's not a thing. And so don't do that. Don't act surprised, and don't say that makes sense. Those are some things not to say to people once you find out they're adopted. They're really aggravating, and they can really trigger people. This is Kirby with the Asheville View. I'm out.